Welcome to Rapid Motion Africa. We head to Zwartkops, the arena of motorsport for northern regions, all part of the double day that happened with the Extreme Festival. We'll start things out on this show with the Comsol Volkswagen Challenge, a massive field of cars, and expecting to see lots of action because the championships are still wide open. A big thanks to Comsol and their associate sponsors for all this Volkswagen Challenge action. Heading into this round, it's Darren Nathan that everybody has to catch in the overall championship. But remember, there's still FSI, Class B and Class C to be sorted out.
In qualifying, all about Carlos Nobre in the FSI, beating things out ahead of the rest of the players. Class B, Nathan keeps it ahead of Henning, but of course Henning out of the championship. Lyle Ramsey, one of his best qualifiers, in 7th. Not
a great qualifier for Smallberger. You can see he's in between the two Class C Golfs. Van Vletter leads out with his wife right on his tail.
It's coming to the closing half of the season. Tell me what happened down at East London, though.
Well, unfortunately, East London, we had a bad one. We overheated the motor. Thermostat didn't open, and going through Potters and Rifle, you know, you flat out. So by the time I saw it at the bottom of Copacabana, it was already too late.
So it's a ton of points gone as well.
It is, yes, absolutely. But, you know, that is racing, and hopefully today's been good for us. We've put it on pole, and we'll try and capitalize and see if we can have a double win.
You want to represent on your hometown turf, but at the same time, I know you're just counting the beans.
Well, absolutely. It's a difficult one, you know. I've got to keep saying it's a long game, but I'm also after pole, you know what I mean? So this morning's session was very snotty, it was wet, it was a bit grimy, and it was pretty much a do or die, and it paid off, so it went well.
Perfect conditions now, 11 laps of action coming your way, and let's see who's going to get the drop off the start. Good start there from Hurley in the background. You can see they've moved Smallberger to the back of the FSI class, so he doesn't have to fight too hard to get through the field, which is going to help him out a little bit, but Darren Nathan didn't get a great start at all, and in fact, I think he's gone to second place with a bit of pressure being applied early on by Tyrell Govindasamy and by Lyle Ramsey, who sneaks through and pushes onto the back end of Nathan.
Lyle was brave there. He got boxed in. He had nowhere to go but drop the hammer and go all the way in, almost shoving Nathan the whole way through. But the story about Smallberger, they move him up to a class where he's supposed to be, because otherwise he's going to get in the way of another championship, and that's not what we want to see.
At the front end, though, Valdimankie's just confirming his dominance in this class so far, and he's ahead of Nobre. We go on board here with Michael Cap, side by side with Hurley. Hurley has definitely got a problem. The car, number one car, is falling by the wayside. As you see Atkinson in the top right there, having a look. Here we go. And up the inside of Nobre makes it stick.
Rory Atkinson finally coming good, getting a good qualifying spot. He was in 4th place. He now slides his way through into the 2 spot on the road, and he's charging up, gets ahead of Carlos Nobre, and the Beetle, Herbie, is coming on now.
Yeah, you can see Derek Smallberger, though, has got a bit of pressure from behind Michael Cap. James Hurley behind him, and then as you can see with the joint start, it didn't take much for Darren Nathan and the Class Bs to get up onto the back of Class FSI.
Yeah, we're going to see those guys hassling the back end. We might see gaps blowing open, but on a short track like this, where it's not necessarily horsepower based, but on the drive up to the top of the hill, just on the very edge of the revs, that's where the FSIs have a huge advantage. So on board with Michael Cap, coming into a very clean turn number 2 for now, and it looked like it was all kinds of crazy. There was a possibility of a change up for second place there. I saw Nobre getting the wheel in.
You can see that Nathan's on the back end of Hurley. We go on board here with Alka. Alka looking around the outside, having to go around the outside due to the fact that things are getting pretty tough in turn 2. Trying to find a way through, can't quite make it stick just yet. You can see the Batman's just ahead of her. So one car between them. She'll want to remedy that as quickly as possible.
That's what she's been doing all year long. She just uses Henry as a carrot, and sometimes Henry uses her as a carrot, but they tend to work together and get themselves through the grid.
Oh, you can see Hurley with the back right there smoking, so there's definitely a problem on that car. That's a big pity for him. That's the number 1 car from last year. He's got the indicator on. I think he's pulling onto the inside of the circuit. That's the end of race 1 here for James Hurley, I think. He's fallen by the wayside, and speaking of falling by the wayside, second place is only as good as what Nathan can do right now, because the Goldwagen car is in front. That means Henning has bettered him.
Yeah, Henning is running good at the moment. Like we say, out of the championship, in and out, which means his numbers aren't adding up towards the end of the year. But on the track right now, we really need to see Nathan get through. He wants to put a car between himself. He wants to put a couple of cars between himself and the rest of the guys coming on.
Class C battle continues at the back end there. Francois van Zyl having a look, trying to find a way through and putting pressure on from behind. See just how exciting it's got down in this category. Stewie Max there as well. Look out for Wouter Roos. We go on board with Jacques Smith. He's sitting in about 4th place at the moment. You can see all hard on the brakes going down into Goldwagen. Wow, awesome stuff here from Comsol Challenge guys.
Needham sweeping through. He's in the bright yellow Golf number 1. Jacques Smith has been one of our key players in the championship this year, and he's just trying to find the sweet spot on the track. You can see Alka getting all kinds of loose. Alka had a chance to move through there, but great drive from Smith. It's going to be 2, 3 in 1. That was never going to work out.
Yeah, big tag there from Jacques Smith on the back end of Alka. Alka's going to get it recovered as quickly as possible, sneaking through and back onto the track. Around the outside was the other car involved. That was Stewie Mack. So Mack and Alka, unfortunately, nowhere to go for Stewie Mack as he came into the Renexcon corner. You could see, here's the move. Jacques Smith tries up the inside, tags Alka twice. He manages to continue going through the corner, but the other 2 cars stricken on the sideline and eventually got back on.
Jacques Smith came from a long way back, and you'd argue way too far back, Greg.
This is Gavin Ross fighting it out with Craig Ecote. You can see Ecote comes back at him now as they go through. And, well, I don't want to put money on to who's going to win this one out. But I can tell you something, Gavin Ross in a Class B car should have a slight advantage over that Class C machinery. Speaking of Class C machinery, Class B is heating up here properly. And there's Nathan on Henning.
That's a good move, and he needed to make that happen as well. He's going to have to try and run and drop Henning off his back wheel right now. Nathan needs clear air. He doesn't want to be involved in any kind of battles. We're at the breaking point of the championship, and the breaking point of that back tire has hit because the back end was wagging there.
And this X-Trader car is under pressure big time. It's Ramsey and Henning. Look at them fanning out, trying to find a way through. And Darren Nathan goes defensive, tries to keep them both out. 2 white polos, leaving no room whatsoever for Darren Nathan to make a mistake. If he does, they're going to pounce. And it looks like Lyle Ramsey actually looks the more dangerous of these 3.
And remember, Greg, a defensive line coming out of turn number 3 doesn't give you good drive up the hill. So Nathan is under pressure, and he's put that pressure on himself. He is going to be in the danger box for the next 3 corners.
Well, Lyle Ramsey's going to help him out here a little bit. Oh, in fact, a lot. Look at that. Henning completely out of shape, but he catches it. Well done, Gerard Henning. A big tag on the back end there from Lyle Ramsey. And hopefully it hasn't done too much damage to either of those cars, but, whoa, that was awesome stuff.
Yeah, chance of the front end hooking. It did definitely grab some dirt, and you would argue that the dust actually saved in there, allowed the front end to push. Otherwise, that Polo could have easily gone OTB.
Well, you can see a big battle between Cruiser and Gossman in the background there. We picked up on the top left-hand side on the Cruiser and Andy Gossman as we see a bit of, cross Polo stuff here.
And that's going to be
dirty. Can't do that, and he's going to run straight wide into Renexcon.
No way you can get on the brakes with dirty tires like that. He goes all the way to the wall. So our championship overall points leader making a massive mistake.
Let's see if he's able to get on here ahead of these 2. You can see the smoke just on the left-hand side, the dust on the left-hand side, I should say. And there you go. Cruiser and Gossman sneaking through, and whoa, out of shape!
Oh,
well
how close was that? Rory Atkinson pulling his left hand in, trying to make his Polo even thinner. There was nothing in it, and Carlos Nobre did the unthinkable, bringing that one back online.
Yeah, Carlos Nobre's been watching Graham Nathan, because there's about 2 oaks that can do that. Nobre would probably be the only other man who could catch it in that point, when it had gone that far wide and that far out of shape.
Here's second place in the Bs, climbing up the hill. And actually, sorry, this is first place. It was the second place battle. Now it is first place. So it is all about Henning leading things out. And Lyle Ramsey, the rookie, he's got a chance to power maybe all the way to the front this time.
And all of a sudden, in comes Hollywood. The Snap-on Tools man is right there as well. So the 2 white Polos thought they'd got rid of the orange one, and they've now picked up a red one.
How dirty is it up there as well? That was where that situation where Ramsey and Henning came together, dragged half of the top of the Zwartkops circuit onto the track. And 1, 2, 3, we've got a freight train and a turnaround for the season for Holiday.
Good possibility that I'll slow each other up, and Andre Needham will come into play as well. So let's keep an eye on that one. There's the bit of damage from Jacques Smith's point of view, and I'm sure that him and Alka will have a chat about that afterwards. I don't think it was anything to do with Alka's line. She was on the perfect line. Unfortunately, Jacques Smith, a little bit overzealousness on the brakes, and a little tag between the 2 of them. But both managed to keep going. That's more important than anything else. Elna Cruiser continues her battle with Hopper Gossman style. And here comes Nathan. He's got a lot of work. 5 cars to get back to the lead.
Great rear view shot of Elna Cruiser, and why we've gone to this shot is because we are seeing the recovery drive of Nathan. He needs as many points as he can get his sticky little hands on today.
considering the fact that his closest championship rival, who drives in Class C, Henry van Vletter, the Batman, is leading Class C. So if he's able to win this race, and Darren's can only finish up in what is going to be right now 6th place on track for Class Bs, that's a lot of points you're losing.
Yeah, we'll get our abacuses out just now and start doing some maths. But yeah, it is all about stress and tension in the cockpit of this X-Trader Polo right now.
And unfortunately, that's normally what happens with Darren. If he does get rattled in any way, he tends to drive not the same way as we see when he's out front and clear. So he's got to try and learn a little bit and maybe just calm himself down slightly. If he's able to calm himself down, he'll get through this field very rapidly.
There's Atkinson. Atkinson was running and he was on for one of his best finishes. It was definitely going to be a podium. And Atkinson and the FSI pulling out and parking that one.
It's a big pity for him because he was going so well. This is Zander Roos, Jacques Smith in the background. Look at them side by side. That's Elke van Vletter starting to make her way back through the field, still fighting it out with Stewie Mack, the two of them working together to find their way back through. And of course, there's still a lot of work to be done for those two as well.
That was Kraus on her back wheel as well, so she should have made mincemeat of Kraus. Jacques Smith is starting to battle. When you hit the front end of the car as hard as he has, it's going to cause some problems within the engine, and you can see he is slowing down dramatically. That's going to be an overheating situation because right at the front, at the smack damage point, that's where the radiator is.
And you can see he's actually just backed out of it ever so slightly there and going to try and nurse it home, I'm sure. But he's lost out ground to Zwartkops, to Francois van Zyl, and of course leading this out miles ahead. And in fact, in amongst some of the Class B contenders is the Batman, Henry van Vletter.
Lyle Ramsey, his mom is going to be going crazy on the sidelines. He was one of the Class D jumpers moving up straight into the Class Bs, along with Hurley, who went another leg up the road into the FSIs. But the kids are coming good at Zwartkops.
Coming out of karting, he's going to be loving life in the tin tops now, using this to sort himself out. So eventually, I'm sure he's going to make the move up to Nationals to the NGN Volkswagen Cup. And the way he's driving right now, he could probably slot in there with no problem at all.
It's a very good idea. Stepping stone situation. A standalone championship within its own right. But Lyle Ramsey, check out the drive he's got. He's got a chance to go up the inside here. We may be able to see a nail-biting pass here. Treacherous turn number 4. Outside line from Henning. That's going to give him good drive up the hill. But the inside controlling line from Ramsey, top of the hill, is where it's going to hit.
Yeah, watch for the braking markers now. Who's going to have what it takes on the brakes? First man to brake will get the corner. And, oh, they didn't brake at all. Look at that. In fact, Henning braked so late, he almost gave the opportunity for Holiday to sneak through.
Well, what Henning was doing there, he was trying to open up the sideline to go for the cutback, and Henning was very lucky to not get one shoved up the inside by Holiday. But a clean pass, a good setup at the bottom of the turn 4. Lyle Ramsey is the leader in the Class Bs.
Dude, that's the first time he's hit the front end of Class B, I can tell you. And if he's there, he's not going to be, he's not going to give that up. I can tell you that much. So as they come out,
he's going to be amped.
9 of 11. Battle still raging right through this field. And this is a little bit further back there. You can see the 170 car there of Dion Kraus fighting it out. As Gavin Ross is on his outside as they go down into Goldwagen. The Metal U Spares man having a Super 1 and Norbrake, of course, on the side of that car. Always a tough contender to battle with. Here comes Elke on the brakes and up the inside. This time she's got Stewie Mack. But Vota's out of shape.
That was Wouter Roos pointing the wrong way on the track. We're trying to pick up on which the other car was.
It was
Zander, so keeping it in the family, getting loose coming out of the final turn. And it's all good news for Elke and all the other drivers that are trying to make up points today. So a couple of drivers making mistakes, but giving back the mistakes in equal measure.
Sean Needham in the mix here as well. We haven't spoken much about him, but the yellow Golf is Needham's car. That is Elna Cruiser. And unfortunately, looks like she's cruising off the circuit there. That's not good for her, considering we're on to the final lap. It's checkered flag time. It's 3.5 second gap for the Performance Masters man. But Valdi has done everything right. And by doing this, I think that gives him 3 out of 3 on the last 3 races. And that is going to move him back into contention for the overall.
Yeah, he is climbing the ladder. Our second fastest qualifier gets a great gate, a good start, and gets his way through. But this is the big Cinderella boy story of the race. Lyle Ramsey comes good, takes his first victory in the Class Bs.
Brilliant driving there from Ramsey. Henning takes second place. Third place goes to Hollywood. How far back was Nathan? I think he finished 5th in his class. That's not good enough to maintain the championship lead. It's going to be brought down dramatically as we see the Class Cs coming to the line. And Class C battle, of course, raged right to that checkered flag, but a super effort there nonetheless between the Class C competitors.
In the FSIs, Meinkees wins over Nobre in the Class Bs. Ramsey gets ahead of Henning, and we look down. There's Nathan in 9th.
Yeah, 5th in his class, as I said. Henry van Vletter taking the Class Cs. Christian de Vet, a super drive from him in 2nd. And, of course, a battle royal. Francois van Zyl won out for 3rd.
Derek Herbie is going bananas once again. Zwartkops, you can't run with the Polos right now, but I reckon you'll be on them in the second race.
Yeah, we had some problems in the race. We had fuel surge in the last few laps. I was starting to get a good pace halfway through the race, and then fuel surge. But we're getting there. We made some changes since East London, moved weight around, added some anti-roll bars, and it seems to work. So the car's getting there. We're getting there. Every race we're improving.
What has been the story about you this year, though? Because you were kind of like running around 4th, 5th place last year, and then all of a sudden, you're in the mix. You can take wins.
Yes, I'm still missing the win. I hoped for a win this weekend, but I'm still a little bit behind the other cars' paces. Yeah, we did a bit of fine-tune and stuff like that to get the car where it is now.
Tell me about what happened in the race, because, well, Nathan is scratching his head.
Yeah, Nathan went off in turn 1. Luckily he caught it, but then Gerard and I had a lovely dice. Bit of argy-bargy, but you know what, that's racing.
Join us after the break for some more Comsol Volkswagen Challenge action from Zwartkops.
Welcome back to our coverage from the Zwartkops Raceway, Inland Regional Racing and the Comsol VW Challenge, heat number 2, and the heat is coming because the championship after race number 1 has been blown wide open.
Now they head down towards turn 1. James Hurley's got to make up a huge amount of ground. Didn't have a great one in race 1, so he's got a little bit of work to do here in race 2, but you can see he's not making any mincemeat out of it, going around the outside and challenging for 3rd place into turn 2.
Nice reflections coming off the track into turn number 1. That just shows me there is plenty of rubber down. The track is not green anymore. There is a ton of grip, and Alka van Vletter not getting beaten up this time around. She's got a lot of scalps to take in this race.
Francois van Zyl is just ahead of her, and of course just ahead of them is going to be the Batman. Let's see if they can make it 1 and 2 on the day again. It's basically how it's been almost all season long in the Class Cs. The Bat family just doing a super job, one in a Golf 2 and the other in a Golf 1.
Meinke's controlling the pace at front. Nobre, our fastest qualifier, holds onto his back wheel, and Smallberger in the Herbie. He is coming on good. It looks like we've got Atkinson back into the mix as well. So whatever the problem was that caused him to have to DNF very late on in the first race, he is back into the mix and it's fixed.
Stewie Mack also back in the mix. Wouter Roos, after his big spin with his son, I think the two of them had a little chat, said, listen, let's keep it real between the two of us.
Well, Jacques Smith wagging the tail there, and Alka wants to get through on Jacques. He was the protagonist, and he was the cause of the problems for her in race 1.
She was able to do it now on the brakes into Goldwagen corner, having a look.
Or will she just hit him?
Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a retribution there, I think. There you can see Sean Needham also in the mix there in the yellow Golf, the front end. Pretty much standard option here. 3 cars into turn 2, side by side, then fanning out, and eventually line astern on the exit towards Speed and Sound Suite. Just looking in the background and trying to pick up as to what's happening in the Class Bs. It looked at this stage like Henning was the man to catch, and we'll get a shot of it now. No, in fact, it's not Henning, it's Lyle Ramsey. He's leading it out.
Lyle Ramsey has pulled the whole shot off his start position into heat number 2 based on his finish from his fastest lap in heat number 1. So the kid is coming good, and all he needed was that race win, and he has got the confidence going. Here's another man with a load of confidence, and first time we've seen some solid pace coming out of Atkinson in 2013.
A little bit of a CLM there, though. Hey, got to go up the inside of the boss man doesn't make it too good. But needless to say, there's no team orders when you're on the track, and I'm sure that Derek's going to love the fact that he's in an epic battle with one of the guys that works for him there. And of course, I've got to take nothing away from Rory Atkinson and from Hurley, as Hurley goes up the inside of Herbie.
Yeah, well, Hurley definitely doesn't work for Smallberger, so he's got no love. He'll slide one through there, and you have to take a bit of pain with him. He'll do it.
No doubt about it. Class C Christian De Vet fighting it out there and trying to keep the rest of these guys and girls at bay, but it's not going to be an easy task.
Oh, Needham forced to the outside there. This is going to get super busy for him, trying to climb the curb. He's got a good rail around the outside, so he will be able to defend from where he is on the track.
He might be able to take you down into turn number 8, Goldwagen corner. Does it perfectly. So setting it up out of turn 6, Kenwood, and making it work. A little bit of dust just. Someone's gone off. Hopefully it's none of the big contenders. Looking in the background, no, they're still all in it. Here comes Michael Kapp putting pressure onto the back end of Herbie, and Derek Smallberger says, no, I've got the better line.
Now, we're still seeing a real good cluster here for the front end of all the FSIs, and the biggest turnout of the season so far for the new development on the FSI category. So cars are coming out every single round. Kapp is one of the new arrivals.
Voldy getting away at the front end. Lyle Ramsey still manages to hang on to the lead. Behind him, it's Henning. Behind Henning, it's Holiday, and then only Nathan. Then we got Gossman. Then Needham. Oh, look at these, just fanning through here, side by side. And there's the Batman. He's just behind the Class Bs. That's a brilliant bit of driving. And in fact, looks like Bat Lady's sneaking up into what is going to be possibly second place on the road for Class C.
Yeah, we do refer to it quite a lot, but in the background of all this racing action that is happening out on the black stuff is a mathematical battle for the overall in the VW Challenge. Coming into this round was Darren Nathan. After the first heat, he has been closed down super tight. There is around about 3 drivers now. Voldy Meinkies is doing a great job to pull himself back into the championship, and it's all about Henry Van Vletter just high-fiving himself the whole way around this race, because he has been the most consistent driver in the second half of the season so far.
After a little bit of troubles down in East London at the previous round, Henry Van Vletter needed to take a double victory here in order to catch Darren Nathan. With Nathan's woes right now, and when I say woes, 4th place in the class is not good enough. He's got to get higher up. He's got to get past Ramsey. He's got to get past this man we go on board with, and Dion Holiday, who shoves one up the inside in the Snap-on Tools machine and gets past Garrett Henning.
The resurgent Dion Holiday has come here at Zwartkops almost out of nowhere and found an incredible package. So his car is working great, and he is feeling confident in the seat. Challenging, he's going to be up there, and this is going to give him a real solid overall on the day if he can actually just maintain and hold on to that second place. What's going to change is we're going to see if Nathan can get himself up there. No, it's Henning. Henning goes bouncing off the sideline, and that's nothing but good news for Nathan. That's a pass without even having to try.
Yeah, up into 3rd place, exactly where he needs to be. Now 2 more positions to make up. He's got to get past Hollywood, and he's got to get past Lyle Ramsey. Lyle Ramsey looking for a double on the day. How many times have we seen that happen? Rookie takes his first win, and on the day takes a double.
And it very often happens at this circuit, Greg. It's one of those tracks that gifts the rider or the driver the double on the day, and it comes, like you say, almost out of nowhere.
Needham, Vota Rus, and Stewie Mack having a super one here. That magnificent World Rally Championship polo of his, and it looks as if it's basically stayed off the grass this time out.
Yeah,
except for a little spin.
He has pointed the wrong direction on the black stuff, but he has kept the undercarriage pretty clean this time around. Hurley has figured out the problems. Whatever went wrong in his car after the first heat, it had to be something to do with the big shunt that he took, but he is just running a good number right now.
And now we look for an opportunity for Vota Rus to sneak through on Needham. Hasn't found it just yet. He's tried for 2 or 3 corners. And you can see Needham runs wide. He's going to keep that. Oh, no, he's out of shape. Needham has gone completely out of shape. He's going backwards, and so, that's going to be terrible.
Vota Rus made the right decision. He was committed. He had to go left, and he just got squeezed the whole way to the wall. So the luckless Vota Rus and Holiday, and that's going to be a big change-up. We're going to see a new leader in the Class Bs. Nathan was there to collect the pieces. Holiday was way too defensive there, squeezing out, and we've got Nathan coming through to the front. Here's a replay out of turn number 2.
Now, getting out of shape just puts a wheel on the dirt. How many times have you and I done that?
Yeah.
And a million other drivers too. And then, unfortunately, just reverses back. Vota Rus decides to go left, but just gets squeezed out. Here's the replay of the other action. A little tag there from Holiday. Lyle Ramsey comes back at him, gets a bigger tag this time, forced onto the dirt. Hollywood then has to go and take evasive action, and Nathan pulls through and takes the lead.
So the calmest category racing so far are the big guns, the FSIs, and they're just controlling things out front. Voldy Meinkies in sublime form in the second half of the season. He is leading things out ahead of the rest of the boys. Atkinson Just fingers crossed he can hang on to that. The car looked like it was starting to get loose, but here's confirmation of the change-up in the Class Bs. There are the guys running in second and third place, but the race leader in the Class Bs is Nathan once again.
And he's the only man who hasn't got off the track this time. So it was the Goldwagen car that went off first. He's now recovered to second. Hollywood went off second, and he's now recovered to third. And Lyle Ramsey, unfortunately, doesn't look like he's got back on track.
Lyle Ramsey, no sign of him. 6 cars back, still no spot. So he could have parked that thing, and that's going to kill us overall in the day. Oh, Hollywood gets crossed up coming into turn number 2 and hits the race leader in the Class Bs.
Nathan didn't see that coming. Unfortunately, nowhere to go. Dion Hollywood tried to get it all sorted out. Alan Cruiser comes in here, and you can see all the debris and little bits of action left over from that big crunch between Nathan and Dion Holiday. But Dion Holiday, unfortunately, on the brakes, had nowhere to go. And as soon as you get onto the dirt, there's just no way of slowing that car down.
That was horrendous. We're talking about probably a loss in the championship here based on that. There's a bit of racing still to come. But a race win would have taken so much pressure off Nathan, and Holiday just getting all kinds of crossed up. And he just almost missed Nathan. He only just tagged him within about 6 inches of the back end.
Well, here you see he just comes out there, tries to go wrong. Something goes wrong. He climbs on the brakes, tries to avoid the car in front of him and goes onto the dirt. There's no way you're going to slow the car down on the dirt. Nathan is turned in. He's going out of turn 2 like it's his normal line, and bang. Thanks for coming. Corner pocket.
And he tagged him on the corner, right on the wheel as well. And as we know with polos, if you hit that wheel, something's going to bust loose. And we'll get confirmation of the shot as these cars sweep around turn number 2. These are our race leaders on the track. When they come through, we're looking for cars on the right-hand side. That Nathan is parked and out of his car. Out of his car.
Out the car. Nathan is out the race. That is huge for this championship. And Henry van Thurder, when he comes around and sees that, is going to be smiling big time in the Batmobile.
That's not how we like to see it happen, but that was just all kinds of situations getting crossed up.
He's just in the background of this battle. This is Needham taking on Gossman. In the front of them, you can see Carrot Henning, Craig Eco trying to hang on to the back and keep out Elna Cruiser. Now as they come through, just behind that battle was the Batman, and as he turns right and exits for an X-Con corner, he's going to see the stricken Sex Trader car on the side of the track again.
Exactly, so we're looking at the FSIs. They've been keeping their noses clean this time around, but the Class Bs, not only in the championship, but on the overall on the day, is blown wide open. We saw the early demise of Lyle Ramsey after he got together with Holiday. Then Holiday took himself and Nathan out. That really just leaves Henning out there circulating, and he's going to walk away with an overall.
Needham on the brakes, not good enough to get past. Here comes Cruiser looking for a way through on Ecoat. Behind her comes Gavin Ross and then the Batman. So Gavin Ross doing a super job here and running at the back end with Cruiser and Ecoat. This is a great little battle. It's raised almost for the second half of this race. Since these three got together, there's no inch and no room been given.
No, these guys also qualify on the same quarter of a second, so it's real nice to see the racing happen. Elna Cruiser gets one up the inside, and it's a nice pass, and she is going to maintain there as well. Often when you dive up the inside, you give away your drive down the main start-finish straight, but she is going to hang on to it, and the Polo moves on through.
Great shot here of Craig Ecoat battling behind her. Super little battle here as well. Look how close these two are. Golf 1 on the back end of the Golf 2 using the slipstream effect there. Andre Needham trying to find a way past on Gossman. But Needham, there's the stricken car of Hollywood as well. So Holiday and Nathan out of it. That's a huge thing for the championship, as we mentioned. But the race is still going to be sorted out, and it looks like Atkinson means business.
It does. I mean, he has been waiting to get himself to the front, and as we've got Monkeys just moving over. Monkeys just seem to gift that one to Atkinson.
He just moved over and allowed Atkinson through. They're coming up on some back markers. Oh, and Atkinson's broken. Can you believe that? As he gets the lead, the car breaks.
That is a
What is that?
That is a big end there when the white smoke comes out. That was at full revs coming down, and just before, in fact, probably on the point when he geared down, the engine said, I can't take it anymore, and has let go once again.
I wonder if Valdi saw that before we did, because he was closer to the car. Maybe he did. That's why he backed out of it and realized there's a problem. There's no problem here for Hurley. Hurley's on the inside, and Hurley's into second. Hurley goes to second pretty easily there on Carlos No Brakes, and that time he was unfortunately matched on the brakes better than he has been all day.
Yeah, Hurley just came good out of almost nowhere, and check out the final lap action. Valdi has got a problem. He's probably cooked his tires, but he has been brought back into the mix hand over fist in just a lap and a half. Valdi has got a big problem here. 4 cars separated by less than a second.
And only one corner to do it in. So they come down to the final corner at Zwartkops.
Defensive there for Valdi. He's got to pray he's got enough just to take it to the line.
Nobre goes on the different line, tries to get the apex later. Oh, Hurley's out of shape. Could that hand it? No, just not. Well done, James Hurley, for catching that one. He's going to take second place with Nobre right on his tail and Derek Smallberger, the first 4 cars, probably about a second and a half between them. Here's the leader for Class Bs. Since he went off the track and recovered, he hasn't been better due to the fact of the in-house and massive dicing at the back and some broken cars, which is going to give Gossman second place and Needham third.
Yeah, the guys all shuffle up the order with the demise of 3 of the big hitters. But the FSIs, give you a number there, Greg, just half a second as they cross the line.
Batman coming through there for the Class C. So confirmation of FSI going to Valdi Monkeys ahead of Hurley and Nobre. Class B goes to Henning, Gossman and Needham in second and third.
In the C's, tagging 12th and 13th overall, and first and second in their respective categories, Henry Van Vletter and Alke Van Vletter, and they are dominating Class C right now.
Valdi, like Steve Hurley says to me, I should be interviewing all of you guys, because man, oh man, everyone deserved to win there.
Yeah, it was a hectic lap at the end. I kept on missing gears and the hooks were just coming. So from my perspective, I would have liked a little bit easier, but it's always fun. I mean, adrenaline's pumping, class is going, and it's great. Hopefully next time we'll have 7, 8, 9 cars on the grid, and there's definitely guys building.
Gerard, not in it for the championship, but in it to win it every single time you go out. That was some killer pace today.
Yeah, we're trying our best, and we had some lucky pace in the race. Towards the end we were struggling, but it was very, very hectic there in front there. With all 4 other cars competitors, the Oaks are freaking pushing like you cannot believe.
Something has clicked this year. We've been talking about it the whole way through.
Yes.
And now coming into this round, I spoke to Darren Nathan this morning and talked about him protecting his championship lead. Well,
yes.
Hey, he's had a bad day, man. You've had a good one.
He's had a shit one, really. It's really a pity for him. It's not the way you want to win, but you know, in East London, I was sitting on the side from the lead onto the side of the track. No points, 0 points, blew a motor. We had to rebuild. Next round, anything's possible. You don't know what happens in the racing. This way or that way, always trying. It makes it great.
Darren, heading into this championship, this championship round, you were quite comfortably in the lead, but a really hard day, a bad day for you in the office. Tell us your thoughts right now, your feelings about it.
Look, qualifying was good. I was very happy after qualifying, thinking, you know what, today we're going to bag a whole lot of points again. Unlucky race 1 with a broken 4th gear, and in race 2 I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, as you can see.
Hopefully that'll change coming up in the next couple of rounds. Comsol Volkswagen Challenge, proudly brought to you by Comsol and their associate sponsors. Join us after the break for the Spitronic Silver Cup.